Welcome to lesson 1.4, complementary and supplementary angles. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about two types of angles. One is called complementary angles, and those are angles that add up to be 90 degrees. And the other type is going to be supplementary angles, and they add up to be 180 degrees. So the biggest challenge really is probably remembering which is which. So let me share with you how I remember them. So complementary angles, start with those. Complementary angles, they start with C, the letter C. C is not for cookie, like Cookie Monster would say, but rather it is for corner, because corners are 90 degrees, right? The corner of a room, corner of a square, they're 90 degrees, right angles. And then that's how we remember that complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Now, when we want to find the measure, we're going to set up the equation. The equation is going to be A plus B. This could be A plus B plus C plus D, how many ever angles there really are. And that's going to be equal to 90 degrees. And then we're going to plug and chug. All right, so that's really, my high school geometry teacher actually used that phrase, and it's stuck with me ever since. So we're just going to plug and chug our numbers. So let's see what that looks like. So in here, if we look here, this is the 90 degrees right here. So we've got this angle, it's 54, and this angle B. So over here, this part is irrelevant. We're not going to pay attention to that part because that's not part of the angle. So we're going to have the equation is going to be 54 degrees plus B. And remember, I like to capitalize them just because it doesn't look like a 6 that way when I write. And that is going to equal 90 degrees. So I'm going to subtract 54 from each side. A little bit of algebra here within it, solving a one-step equation here. And so when we subtract here, let's go ahead and borrow from the 9. That makes 8. So 10 minus 4 is 6. 8 minus 5 is 3. 36 is the measure of angle B. Okay, so let's try one more. Since it's very similar, you could see the right angle there. So this part here doesn't matter, this part here doesn't matter. All we're looking for is the part that goes on this angle here. So we've got two angles. We've got 56 degrees plus B equals 90. So subtract 56 from both sides. We're left with B, and this is going to be 34. Okay, follow the same method as before. It's really close, actually, to the same problem. Okay, so that is complementary angles. Let's talk about supplementary angles. Now, remember them in a very similar manner. It's all about what it starts with. So supplementary angles start with S. S is for straight. Straight angles, which are also straight lines, are 180 degrees. And so supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So the way to find it is going to be almost identical, except we're going to sub out the 90 for 180 degrees. So we're going to, step one, we're going to set up the equation. So that's going to be A plus B equals 180. Now it could be more than A plus B. It could be A plus B plus C plus D. Remember, we're using 2 most often, but it could be 3 angles that make a complementary angle. Then we're going to plug and chug. Plug and chug. Oops, there's no H in chug there. All right, so that means just put in the numbers we have and solve it. All right, so if we look at this first one, we've got a straight line here, right there. And then we've got these 2 angles on this side. So this side over here we don't care about, it's just this left-hand side. So we've got 74 degrees plus B equals 180 degrees. Okay, do some algebra, subtract 74 from each side. I'll go ahead and show you the math here. So I'm going to borrow, so 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 7 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1. So it is 106 degrees. You can check that by saying 106 plus 74 would be 180, and that makes sense. And then last, our final sample problem here is going to be 120 plus B equals 180. So subtract 120 from each side. I'm left with B on one side, and then 0. 8 minus 2 is 6, and 1 minus 1 is 0, so it is 60 degrees. 60 degrees, so if you were confused on this one, that is the line that we're following. So it's B and the 120 make 180 degrees. This side over here, not important for this problem. All right, so B equals 60, and that is how you find supplementary angles. So remember, look at what they start with. Complementary angles start with C for corner, 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are straight, S straight, 180. All right, that's it for today. Good luck.